is there's a process for growing your business and there's a process for marketing your business, and there's no magic pill. You have to understand, right, what it means to identify an ideal client, find their pain, solve their pain, move through that, and market your business in a way that helps people understand the problem that you solve. Welcome to The Unbridled Creative, where courage meets calling. If you've ever felt that tug in your heart, that whisper that says there's more, but you're stuck in fear, burnout, or maybe just a version of success that doesn't feel like freedom, then this podcast is for you.
And we're here to inspire, equip, and empower you to build your business with faith, not fear, and to remind you that your calling is worth chasing.
So
let's do this.
This episode of The Unbridled Creative is brought to you by BeLocal, the guide that helps new movers feel at home and helps local businesses get found by the people who need them most. Every month, BeLocal personally welcomes hundreds of new homeowners with trusted recommendations on where to shop, where to eat, and how to connect, introducing them to the very best our community has to offer. If you're a business who wants to grow through connection, not promotion, BeLocal is your bridge to the most powerful audience in town, new neighbors who are eager to build long-lasting relationships. Learn more at reachnewcomers.com. We just had Ken Mensch on our podcast, and I wanted to take a moment to just share an insight that I had, because Ken was talking about pain in the body, but he also talked about how he saw pain in people, and that's what drove him and his business to push through mainstream backlash, to revolutionize the medical industry and help people save money and get out of pain without pills, without injections, and it's just such a great metaphor for business, right? I think that a business owner often, a lot like someone who wants to lose weight or get out of pain, they just want the pill. They just want the injection. They just want the immediate result. But it's never that easy. It's a process, right? Like I've seen business owners say, well, I ran that ad and I didn't get hundreds of new customers, or pushed out that social media reel and I didn't get hundreds of new customers, because nothing happens in a vacuum. Nothing is a magic pill. Just like the process of getting out of pain and transforming the medical industry, like what Ken is doing, is there's a process for growing your business and there's a process for marketing your business, and there's no magic pill. You have to understand, right, what it means to identify an ideal client, find their pain, solve their pain, move through that, and market your business in a way that helps people understand the problem that you solve.
Actually just listening more so than anything, because everything you were saying is spot on. There's no shortcuts. There's no shortcuts in life. There's no shortcuts in business. We have to have patience. Pain as an indicator of something being wrong is actually a good thing that God created in us, when it comes to pain in our bodies. And when we're going through challenges in our business, that challenges are meant to trigger us, or to, not in a bad way, but remind us that there's something that's not right. And we need to look
Thing
at things
needs
a little different.
attention.
Yeah, something needs attention.
Yep.
And so what a great message and metaphor for sure. Well, I just hope that those who listen to this, the business owners or the entrepreneurs, somebody who has an idea, they don't have the wrong understanding or misinterpret the idea of starting something new, starting a business, because it's not easy. And it's not supposed to be. And if it's easy, everyone would be doing it.
Right. Well, and I'll add that, I'm a marketing consultant. So how I typically am engaged with a business owner is they come to me and they say, it's not working. They say, I just dumped $90,000 into a campaign and I got nothing out of it. I don't understand how to measure ROI. They're in pain. When they say it's not working, I'm not getting anything out of it, they're in pain. But I'm not going to mask it and say, well, there's this magic little pill. There's this little, well, why don't you just do a TikTok reel? Or why don't you just do, there's like no magic tactic that's going to get you out of pain. What you have to do is step back and go to the source. That's what Ken's talking about with like that tight muscle. He's going to the cause of the pain. He's not trying to just resolve the symptom. And as he mentioned, there's lots and lots of things out there that will ease your pain, the symptom, like a pill or a glass of wine or an injection or whatever. So when it comes to marketing, I think it's such a great, an analogy or metaphor for what we're doing here with this podcast is we're trying to help people understand marketing is part art, marketing is part science. There is a process to it, there is a system to it. And to look at marketing in a silo and not understand how marketing fits into the business operation is you are going to think, this is not working. I should stop doing this and start doing that. No, maybe, maybe not. Let's peel that onion. Let's figure out what's actually going on at the root cause and how it fits into the system. And then we can get you marketing your business in a way that's smart and affordable and effective and efficient. Because
Yes.
once you're doing that, a lot like Ken getting people out of pain and, 2.3 visits, if we can get someone to move out of this reaction to, oh, well, I did the new thing I learned about at the chamber, but, it didn't give me my result. If we can get them to understand that marketing is a system,
Yeah.
not a strategy, right? It's a
Yes.
process, not a tactic. Like just
Yeah.
that awareness, stepping into that will help them get what they want out of their marketing.
Absolutely. And I think that focus with marketing, it's always about that focus being on solving the pain, going back to what we started to talk about, that pain that someone has that a business is wanting to solve, that challenge that a business is solving, focusing on that, being the real person that they are as a business owner, saying, hey, I care about you. I care about the pain you're feeling. I have a way to get rid of that pain, but here is my process, and being very clear about what that is. And what's hard is to know that in that metaphor, that to relieve that pain, often you have to release things.
Right.
And it's that tension that you're having. He gave that example holding his arm up. You have to release it. And there's so many things we have to release in our own lives, the expectations of others, and we have to break free from.
That's
Um,
right.
and those are things we have to focus on. Number one, honoring God in all that we do. And that's why we can be bold and then to break free.
To understand that that process might be a little bit painful because sometimes letting go can be painful.
Yeah.
Um,
These are good
I would,
reminders for us for sure.
yeah, I would love to talk about BeLocal for a second in this context because BeLocal is a wonderful tool to help a business owner grow by reaching people that don't know they exist. So if you're going to invest money in advertising, wouldn't it make sense to put that money into reaching people that are actively seeking a new relationship with the local business owner, right? Because they've moved in from out of town, they've moved in from out of state. They're not established in their home for the last 20 years. They've got their doctor, they've got their dentist, they've got their veterinarian. These are people that are coming in from out of town, out of state. They're actively seeking new people. Right. But I think that a lot of times what we as publishers of BeLocal, you and I are both publishers of BeLocal, as we tend to talk about BeLocal like, what a great opportunity for you, business owner. What a great opportunity for you to get your brand in front of a new mover that doesn't know you exist. Moving to a new town can feel overwhelming. You don't know where to go, you don't know what to do, you don't know who to trust. That's where BeLocal comes in. Like a best friend, BeLocal personally welcomes newcomers and connects them to the best local businesses, restaurants, community events, so they can feel at home faster. And for local business owners, BeLocal is like a matchmaker, introducing them to new families who are ready to form long-lasting and local relationships. To grow your business by reaching newcomers, visit reachnewcomers.com. And people say, yeah, that's kind of neat. I'll give that some thought. But if we could pivot as owners of BeLocal and say, look, business owner, you're in pain. I know you don't know it, but you're in pain because you're trying to grow your business. You're trying to attract new customers. You're going to all of these seminars at the chamber and you're learning about TikTok or this or that, new tactic, new shiny object is what I call it. You're in pain. You're trying to solve that pain by throwing spaghetti against a wall. You're trying all these different advertising tactics, not understanding that you need a system so that you're not reacting. You need to be proactive so that you're not all over the place. And you need to focus your energy on someone that's actually got a chance of doing business with you when they get your advertising message, right? So if we can say to that business owner, we have a solution to solve your pain of how to get yourself in front of an ideal audience at the ideal time that they need you in your backyard. If we solve that pain for you, what would that do for your business? You don't have to worry anymore about, oh, how am I going to get my brand out in the community? How are people going to know, like, and trust me? What happens when the word of mouth engine stops working for me because people are moving away and new people are moving in and they don't know that I exist, right? So the pain that we solve for a business owner is what I call brand awareness dilution. A business has been in the community for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, and they've showed up at events, they've shaken hands, they've kissed babies, they've shown up and built relationships with the community. But the community is, some of them are moving away and a lot of them are moving in because it's growing exponentially. And they don't have a clue who you are, and the brand awareness that you've worked so hard for decades to build is being diluted by the fact that we've had explosive population growth, right? So what I really want a business owner to understand is that there are solutions to get you out of pain when it comes to how am I going to grow my business without breaking the bank, without throwing money in the marketing pit,
Yeah.
right? And
And
that
the
is BeLocal.
and the focus and the reason why we do be local, but really the focus comes down to how are people paying attention? In regard to be local, it's reaching the new homeowner, right? How's the new homeowner paying attention? Oftentimes they're not, and they don't have anybody to listen to. So getting to, and also, other neighborhood newsletters like Stroll and other products like that, it's so essential to, because the people are actually reading what it is you're delivering rather than it being diluted by other means. And if you don't have a reputation to someone who's new to the area, it doesn't matter what you're sending or how many things you're sending to them on social media or any other means because there's no reputation attached to it. So it becomes so important knowing, like you said, knowing that attrition is happening, whether you want it to or not, because there's just maybe people moving out as they are moving in. So if you did nothing, if you never reached new homeowners, then eventually your business would go down. What an amazing thing. All these analogies with our body, and how things work.
Well, and the business is like a body, right? Oh, the business is like a body. It is a living, breathing thing. I mean, we all joke that our business is like a child. I've got my kid, my husband, and my business, which is like another child. So we have to keep it healthy. We have to keep it healthy. And a part of that is, bringing in new customers. I've worked with local businesses now for about 30 years, and I think the number one pain that they have is how do I bring new customers in? They're always wanting a stream or a funnel for new customers. And you and I have seen a lot of the gimmicks and I don't know, I call them shiny objects, the things that'll grab your attention and you'll think it's that magic pill for a new customer funnel and it's inauthentic. It doesn't build trust. I often say in my BNI group, because they always say, oh, we want to be known, liked, and trusted. And I'm like, well, yeah, maybe for the last few decades, but now we're in a trust recession and people want to be trusted first. So if you put something out there that builds trust, then they'll go, oh, well, who
They
is
may
that?
like you enough to and know you can do something good for them.
That's exactly right. If I
It's
trust you,
reversed.
I might like you enough to get to know you. And I
Yeah,
think that is the new world that we're living in. It's
yeah.
one of the missions of our podcast is to help people understand the fact that we are in a trust recession and the fact that you have to be putting out trust signals to let people know that I am a real business. I am a trusted local resource and I'm not a bot and I'm not an AI avatar, right? And Be Local is one of those ways that a business can give a trust signal because it shows up in your home, which is the most intimate part of a family. It sits on a coffee table, it sits on a countertop, it sits on a nightstand, and it's so focused on serving the needs of the new mover at the moment they move here that our businesses are seen as trusted local resources. And that is a solid gold way to market your business, in my
It
opinion.
is a bridge. We call it a trust bridge. We trademarked or branded the name Trust Bridge, and that in itself is a bridge. It's a bridge from one side to the other, whatever that is, right? But you mentioned the change in the marketplace, and trust recession and things like that. We don't say that to impose fear or apprehension, to feel scared that your business may not grow anymore because you're not doing something different. It goes back to the root of humanity. What has always worked? What has always worked? Not all the new fads doing this and that. It's what has worked. It's treating people like they want to be treated.
That's right.
It's treating your neighbor like you want to be treated. And when we love in that way unconditionally and we're serving first, then trust is built automatically. So our focus can't be fear that something's not going to happen. Our focus has to be, what am I responsible for, making sure that I'm going to serve the people that I am focused on serving to solve whatever that pain or challenge is in their life,
That's right. Yep. That's the focus is how can I ease their pain? How can I solve their problem? And if you can do that and show results, you will have a viable business that can sustain through recessions and whatever else comes at you.
Yeah, that's right. So what's our tagline? Be
Be bold,
bold,
break
break
free.
free, and live unbridled.
This episode is sponsored by BeLocal, the nation's leader in welcoming newcomers and connecting them to the best places to go, the best things to do, and the best businesses to use in our community. If you want to reach new families moving into your backyard, visit reachnewcomers.com.
That's right. Thanks for joining us on The Unbridled Creative,
where we believe your story matters, your voice has power, and your dreams were planted on purpose.
And if something sparked in you today, don't let it fade. Take a step, trust the nudge, build the thing.
And if this episode encouraged you, we'd be so grateful if you'd help us spread the message.
And if you haven't already, hit subscribe so you never miss an episode.
Share it with a friend who's ready to build with heart, not hype.
And leave us a review. It helps more bold believers find their way here.
Wherever you are in your journey, we hope this show helps spark your hope, fuel your fire, and strengthen your faith in what's possible.
We're cheering you on, praying for you, and showing up every week to help you keep going. So, be bold, break free, and live unbridled.